Hello, and welcome to Iggy's Toy Parade and Soldier Review. This is your host, Iggy. Yay! Hi, guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about Toy Soldiers of San Diego, and this is a sampling of their Civil War soldiers. Now, Toy Soldiers of San Diego, of course, I should say, based in San Diego. I believe they have closed shop and sold their assets to a company called McShawn's Closet. And they had some wonderful sculpting of their figures done for them. The person who started the company, his name was Nick. I used to know his last name, but I seem to have forgotten it. He and his wife started the company out of their home. And his wife also was very nice, very attractive woman, too. And Nick was a big man uh, with a joyful expression on his face. He loved talking about toy soldiers. I was fortunate to speak with him several times at the West Coaster show held in California. I think in Anaheim it was the last time I saw him. And his wife is also very delightful, very nice person. I think they had a daughter that helped them out too. But it's been a while, it's been 20 years now since I've talked with them. I understand that Nick has passed on now, which is a blow to the toy soldier community because he was such an energizing force within the community. And the figures that he commissioned are wonderful. And this is a sample of them here. Now you see here 20 Union figures and 15 Confederates. There's two of each pose on these figures up here, and two of each of these poses with the exception of the kneeling rifleman, which is this one here. Now you can see that being in storage for so long, there's a lot of the bending of the barrels. It sounds like a traditional festival. We shall attend the bending of the barrels. Some of them worse than others. Let's see if I can find you an extreme example. There you go. Looks like an old man. I won't explain that any further. And look at the bayonet on this guy. I think their sculptor has a fondness for handguns because there's actually, I think, 3 poses in the Confederates that feature a handgun. One being an officer, which you can see here. He's got a cool beard. And this fellow over here, he almost looks like a pirate. And then the third one is this fellow here. Now, with the Yankees, we have a guy with a rifle and a handgun. And then we have this figure up here. That's interesting about this figure is that it's Colonel Joshua Chamberlain. And when I say he was inspired by Joshua Chamberlain, that's probably not even accurate. This guy is Joshua Chamberlain. Let me give you a close up of his. And there's a painting that features him in this exact pose. So that's a pretty cool figure. The flag bearers on this set are awesome. And I'm going to show you those close ups also because the flag bearers are really cool. Oh, you know what? There's four Confederates with handguns. I forgot about the flag bearers. See that? I had a hard time explaining to some kids why a man would die for the flag because they thought that was the stupidest thing they ever heard. But people were very different years ago than they are now. Uh, for instance, they took their religion very seriously, which is not something that modern people do. For instance, I just read a report that only 52% of the population of Great Britain consider themselves to be Christian. Now, part of that discrepancy in numbers or deficiency in numbers is due to the increase of Muslims and Hindus in Britain. However, that doesn't account for all of it, and a great many people in Britain now regard themselves as atheists, and some don't like to call themselves atheists. They call themselves secular humanists or pagan, even. I spoke with a girl from Great Britain a few months back, and she said that no one in her family goes to church. She said that religion was stupid. And I was like, okay, well, things are quite different than they were even 100 years ago. The losing the flag was considered a blemish on a company's record, and men would actually struggle and fight to retain the flag. And you could actually win the Medal of Honor by fighting to protect the flag or stealing the flag of the opposing side. And the kids were like, "What? Mr. Iggy, how could that be? Why would they fight over a piece of cloth?" And I said, "Well, it's not so much the piece of cloth. It is to some extent, but it's what it represents. And so if you disrespected the flag of a Civil War unit, they probably would shoot you because they took it very seriously. Whereas now, people wear the flag as a bikini or a T-shirt or whatever it might be. It's just not the same. And as modern people, we have trouble trying to think of how they could risk their lives for the flag. Well, they did. And many of them lost their lives because being a flag bearer was extremely dangerous. You were a natural target because you could be seen much more clearly than, say, men in the ranks like you see over here. This fella here would have been shot at quite a bit. And even state flags, but not to the degree of the national flag. A lot of people mistake the Confederate flag to be the national flag of the Confederacy, which is also not true. They had a white banner with this flag in one corner, and they also had problems with their forts being thought to have surrendered or their ships because of the white flag, and sometimes you couldn't see the um, this part of the flag. And so they added a red stripe to one end to help distinguish it from a surrender flag. Now this flag bearer is awesome. You see he has actual holes in the flag, which I thought was a really nice touch. And also the flag is frayed, which I was afraid to point out, but there, never mind. Iggy, how many times have I told you not to say dumb things? I'm sorry. And of course, the Union flag up here is also frayed ends, and I guess the carrier is a fraidy cat because you got the frayed ends there. Iggy, sorry. Good grief. Can't say anything. You'll see here that the flag bearer in this instance is also suffering from the storage problem of having rifles, bayonets, bent swords, and even flagpoles are subject to that. Let's take this guy down so you can get a better look at him because I didn't show you this one. Now, if you would like to know what year these were produced, you just flip it over because they put the name toys TSD or TSSD, and in this instance, it says that it's copyrighted. Oh gosh, I cannot see it. Is it 2004? I'm having difficulty seeing it. I'm sorry. So let's look at some of the equipment on these guys and see if it's we could consider it being accurate. So let's see. Well, let's just randomly pick a fella here. Poor guy is his rifle has old man syndrome. Is that focusing for you guys? Because to me it looks very blurry. Okay, so he has the oiled knapsack. A lot of times men would paint their company and regiment numbers on the back of their knapsack. You can see the cartridge box, his canteen, his tin cup, his cap box, and you see the straps to his knapsack, wearing a slouch hat. His pants are slightly rolled on the bottom. That's how I used to wear my pants. I never wore my pants tucked into my socks because I didn't want my socks to stretch out. Okay, let's take a look at another figure. I'm not quite sure if the hair here would be authentic. When you're living outdoors, long hair is not a fun thing to have because you get all sorts of lice, fleas, whatever it is, parasites of all different kinds, and it's hot. Perhaps in the winter you wouldn't mind having that. He's got an excellent goatee. It's not focusing. The camera is supposed to focus automatically, but it doesn't appear to be doing that in this instance. So I'll have to make my shots a little further. Now, here's a nice touch on one of these figures. You'll notice that his pants are frayed from being worn He's got a patch on the knee, and he's barefoot. And you could expect to see things like that not only in the Confederate Army, but also in the Union Army. Shows that he's wearing a pair of braces or suspenders. There's his cap box. He has a wooden canteen. Gosh, look at my hand shaking, guys. Now you know why my videos are so hard to watch. So the Toy Soldiers San Diego, I would give them an A plus. I think they're all very. Oh, you know what? Let me show you the officer because I think he's exceptional, exceptionally good. Look at that beard. Although he looks like Charlie Chan there. Wonder how that happened. Fu Manchu. Sam Chan Tai Ho. You know how Iggy loves saying that. He's got a haversack cap box for his pistol. Binocular case. Is that a binocular case? Very nice. Well done. So let's do a panoramic sweep so that you guys can get a close up without me talking, because I know that my talking over these things can be a little intrusive. So let me get in tight and we'll begin a sweep, okay? Here we go. In 1, 2, 3. By the way, this is the only pose that I don't care for. And he's got a bedroll, which is not a problem. He's carrying a scatter gun, or shotgun rather. And he looks kind of like a gnome. I think maybe if he had his hat on, I would like him better. He's got the wood canteen again and the an oiled haversack. When my haversack started to get shabby looking, I would get gloss black paint and actually paint the haversack, and it would look like new again. Of course, after being in the field a few times, it gets kind of dirty and worn looking. All right, so that concludes the Confederates. I have 15 figures here and 20 of these. Now, I don't know if I'm missing some figures because I had these in a tub and the plastic bag that they were in broke open, so I don't know if there's more figures, but if I find them, I'll maybe display them with something else. Okay, so here we go with the Union troops. We have the Johnnies, and now we have the Billies. Okay, that's our Union troops. Now, my favorite figure is, of course, this one of Joshua Chamberlain. I suppose if I was forced to pick a least favorite, it would be this fella here holding a rifle and handgun. That doesn't seem likely to me, but of course, anything could happen. My second least favorite is this one here. Let me get him. Oops. He's got a bandage around his arm. They got nice beards. Looks like Kenny Rogers. Now, in the background, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but this is a print of a painting that my brother did called Assault on Battery Wagner. And he used me as a model for the. So I'm in the painting also. There you go. I think I was about 33 years old when he did that. And that's what I looked like. So, anyway, I don't know if my brother wants me to talk about his painting, so I'll just show it to you. I saw this at an auction house for being sold. I think one of them sold for 400 on auction. None of these have survived in great numbers because there was a flood and all of the prints got wet and they wrinkled up, and my brother threw them all out. He must have thrown out about 1,000 of them. Originally there was 1,400 printed and he had to throw out like 1,000 of them. So there's not very many left. Prior to him doing this painting, I did research on it, and I found out the ironclads, or monitors they're sometimes called, that participated in the battle. I read a book called One Gallant Rush and also A Brave Black Regiment, which talks about the battle at Fort Wagner. This guy here, someone asked me, what is that guy doing? And there was actually stories told of a lone Confederate standing on the battlement with no shirt on, and that he was very muscular and was firing 2 pistols into the massive soldiers that were stuck in the moat here. And this shows the moment before Colonel Shaw ran up this here, well, struggled up here and then was shot when he got to the top and tumbled back down again. Now, would the ships be firing, as you can see in the background? The attack was put into motion when the ships stopped their bombardment, and that's when the attack went forward. But I told my brother, go ahead and show a little bit of the tail end of it to make the painting exciting. I'm not sure this many men would have been killed back there. Most of them, I think, were probably killed at this part of the battle. But my brother did an excellent job. Some of the research details that were difficult for me to track down was what the national colors looked like, and the state flag. And what else did I have trouble with? Oh, there's another white officer over there. Robert Gould Shaw, as played by Iggy. Anyway, Iggy is a supermodel now. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you this time. I hope you enjoyed my brother's painting and also these figures by Toy Soldier San Diego. You might want to contact McShawn's Closet if you would like to get some of these. I don't know if Toy Soldier San Diego is even in business any longer. I used to buy from them every year at the West Coaster. So when I found out that Nick had passed away, it really made me feel pretty bad because he was such a cool guy. And the last time I saw him was the West Coaster a year and a half ago. And I had one of my viewers say that Nick had passed away. I hope that's true. I don't want to be telling people that he's gone and he's still with us, because that would be kind of creepy, I would think. And I don't think his wife would appreciate that. Okay, guys, that's all I've got for you. Thank you for getting Iggy with it. And if you feel the gumption to do so, enlist in the Iggy Army. And I want to thank you for getting Iggy with it. And then suddenly Iggy gets shot.